I thought the Germans were going to win because they were so much stronger, and all their weapons appeared to be better than ours. I joined 1st 7th Battalion of the Middlesex Regiment, principally because the cheap beer in the canteen, and the girls seemed to like someone in a uniform. And also I joined it because I knew it was a mechanised unit and I wouldn't have to walk like the infantry. Things were getting closer to war in 19 from the start of about 1938. You know, there was talk of it and what Hitler was doing, but personally I didn't really think it would actually come to hostilities. Of course, in those days there was no television, so when Hitler invaded Poland on the 1st of September 1939, it came over the wireless that all TA men were to report to their various depots and that. So that's when I went. But we went to the drill hall and we were there for about 3 weeks. Then we went to Aldershot, Salamanca Barracks, and it was quite a change from being at home, I can tell you. Well, we got there in January, which was one of the coldest winters recorded at that time, and it was terrible. We were sleeping in the lofts of farmhouses. I remember even my toothpaste froze up. I couldn't clean my teeth. But then we moved up near the Belgian border after a couple of weeks, and we stayed there till the Germans attacked Belgium, the Netherlands and France on May 1940. There was 4 in a machine gun crew and a driver. 1 fired, 1 put the belt through, and 2 were what they called ammunition carriers. And each machine gun had either a corporal or a sergeant, a non-commissioned officer, in charge of them. Of course, every time we took up position, someone at the side, the Belgians, one side, the French, the others, they fell back, and often they didn't tell us. So, of course, we had to fall back to keep in line with them. And on the 25th of May, we were on a position on the River Lies, which at that point was the border between France and Belgium. Well, the day before, the Belgians had surrendered, and our colonel wanted to know what was happening on the Belgian side of this river, so he sent a platoon of 9 men. We'd been there a few minutes when along came a German riding a push bike, so we shot him, and then shortly after, up came this German staff car. So we opened fire again, and we killed the officer and the driver in the front. And the officer in the back, his name was Colonel Kinzel, and he jumped out and he left behind his hat and his briefcase. So by then, more Germans were appearing, so we had to go back. We took the briefcase, and it was the plans for the German attack on Dunkirk. It was a nice sunny day, and we were, of course, the cobbled road in France, and we were short of this bridge that had to defend. And all of a sudden, this burst of machine gun fire came up, bouncing off these cobbles, and all bits of cobbles coming up, and I thought, this is handy. Anyway, we managed to get most of our men away on the trucks and dug in where we were on this Comines Canal, and we held it there for 5 days until we got the order to pull back. These French are making a lot of blinking noise, like they always do. And the Germans must have heard and sent a fighting patrol over, got amongst us in the dark, and that's when my friend shot me in the shoulder. I mean, he was only a few feet from me. And he said, "I'm sorry." I said, "That's all right, you know." He said, "I aim for your head." I said, "It's a bloody good job you're a rotten shot, John, isn't it?" I went to the regimental medical officer, and he just put antiseptic or something on it, but it was only a flesh wound. It went through it, never went in it, so it wasn't really a lot to worry about. Did me a bit of good, because I couldn't do anything with my shoulder, not even peel spuds in the cookhouse. We got on our trucks and drove to the outskirts of the Pan, drove all the trucks in a field, took the machine guns and laid them in front and drove the trucks over them to destroy the guns, and left the engines running so that all the engines would seize up. Then we walked from there. It was still dark when we got there, and the whole town was on fire and the walls falling down and that. And they marched us into the beach. Of course, as soon as it got light, over came the Luftwaffe, machine gunning and dive bombing, and we were like sitting ducks, so they took us all out. In an immediate conference, they decided that each machine gun crew would go up under its NCO, make smaller targets, because there were no boats there where we were. We saw this coaster. A coaster is a small ship that can go around the coast but not across the oceans. It appeared to be on fire, and but we saw some other soldiers getting on it, and the crew of this boat had got big 50-gallon drums, and they were burning oily rags to make out it was on fire. to try to put the Luftwaffe off because there was plenty of other targets. So we got on it. I lay on the floor. I was so tired, I went to sleep. Next thing I knew was somebody shaking my shoulder saying, "Waking up, we're coming into Folkestone." So what happened on the journey across the channel, I've got no idea. Then, of course, there was all these ladies with their cups of tea and slices of bread and jam, treat us like heroes. And, of course, they torn my battle dress shoulder and it had got a bit blood-stained and whatnot. It looked a lot worse than it was. And every one of these ladies wanted to grab what they thought was a wounded hero. And I was in more danger from those ladies than any blinking German. When I go back and look at these war cemeteries, Commonwealth war graves, I think, you know, what a waste. Went back once to one cemetery. There were seven of my boys all buried in a line, one after the other, all killed the same day, all about the same age, early 20s, you know. I thought, no, what a waste all this was.